What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Schneid. It's Wednesday night. We're going to be ripping some drafts, but first, we're going to be talking about rookie rankings. We're going to be sharing the spreadsheet updated. Still have some work to do on it. Still some tape to watch, especially on the quarterbacks, but we're getting there. We're about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through, maybe something like that. So that's what we're going to get into. Then we'll rip some drafts. Obviously, we're always going to be drafting. You know that. We got Steven Hines in the chat. Good evening, Cody Better Half, and the little man. Appreciate you. Appreciate that. Let's jump right into the rankings. This might take a little bit. So let's jump right into that and let's chat about it. So quarterbacks I have right here. Mendoza's number one. That's no question. It's easy. He's in there. I haven't watched him yet, so I don't have any notes. I haven't watched any of the quarterbacks yet. That's still on my list of things to do, but I've almost gotten through the majority of everything else. Basically, quarterbacks are not nearly as important to me this year. Mendoza is the only first-round pick, in my opinion. We'll see how I feel about Ty Simpson, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get there as a first-round pick for him at all, but we'll see. And then there's some, I think there's some values to be had for sure. So I do want to watch a lot of these guys, like Sawyer Robertson, Garrett Nussmeier, Altmaier, I like Fagnano. I want to watch Gronowski. I want to watch Drew Alar. I want to watch with more intent. Chambliss, I suppose, Morton. So some of these guys I do want to see. I want to see if I can find the diamond in the rough that might be in this class, and we'll kind of take it from there. So nothing really to report here as far as quarterbacks are concerned, but Mendoza will be my first for sure. That's easy peasy. How are we doing, Cody Meester? I'm doing well. I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you popping in, Frank. So easy peasy quarterbacks. I'm not going to dig too deep into it because there's really nothing to talk about right now as we sit, but Mendoza's number one. Let's jump over to running backs. We talked about this a few weeks back with PPR Tyler. I was pretty close to being done, and I'm still there. I've definitely watched a little bit more tape since then, but nothing too crazy. I definitely still have a few guys, Roman Hemby for sure. I'd like to find some more tape on Eli Heidenreich. He's been hard to find. CJ Donaldson, I suppose. Terrion Stewart, I suppose. I do want to watch Desmond Reed, Noah Whittington, Dean Connors, and Kalen Black for sure are the ones that I want to watch. And I highly doubt they're going to pop into my top 7 anyways. I'd imagine that this is pretty set in stone, though there may be some movement. Realistically, the only movement I see right now is Emmett Johnson could move up and Singleton could move down. I actually think, if anything, it's going to be a swap of Singleton and Johnson, and Katron just stays at number 3. But we'll see. I'm higher on Katron Allen than it seems like most people for a couple of reasons. Mostly the way that I think the NFL, that I've been saying for about 2-3 years now, the way that the NFL, I feel like, is going to continue to move towards the running game more, and it has been, and I think it'll continue down that path. And he can just get on the field. He can block. He can catch the ball a little bit. He can definitely run. He doesn't have that breakaway home run speed, but he can do everything else that you need. So if anything, I think Emmett Johnson and Nick Singleton might just swap, and then we'll kind of see what happens from there. But that's pretty much set right now, and we'll kind of see where we go. But there's not really much. There's not too much work left for me to do as far as running backs are concerned. And I think most of this has already been talked about and shown on the channel, so don't want to dig too deep into this. Let's skip wide receiver because that's where I've done the majority of my work since the last time we showed the spreadsheet here. So let's skip that for now, and then we'll get to that, and we'll finish on the wide receivers. Did a lot of work on the tight ends. I like watching tight ends a lot, actually. It's kind of one of my favorite positions, low key to scout and to watch. Scout is a loose term for me to say. To analyze, I suppose I could call it. I don't know what you want to say. I don't want to call myself a scout or an analyst, but I don't know. A tape watcher, ball knower. I don't know what we want to call me, but either way, I did a lot of work on tight ends, which again, I like to do. And this is where I landed as far as my rankings are concerned. And Sadiq did get there for me. I like Sadiq a lot, man. The dude is just bricked up, as you see here. He's jacked. Quality, intelligent blocker, I thought. Like, he got to where he needed to be and where the play needed to be made in the running game. The 6 drops was really concerning, but I don't know. It's not uncommon for tight ends to have a fair amount of drops for one reason or another. High school track and basketball, he's only 20 years old, so that's a big bonus. There's still a lot of meat on that bone, most likely, but he moves really well, really good feet. I really liked what I saw with Kenyon Sadiq. I didn't think going into this that he would be my tight end one, but here we are, and he did get there for me. I thought Eli Stowers would be my tight end one. He won both the John Mackey, which was the number 1 tight end award, and then the William Campbell, the academic Heisman. That's really, really impressive for a tight end prospect and a former quarterback who was recruited at Texas A&M. It's not like he was recruited to play quarterback at whatever Joe Blow FBS school, right? Like Texas A&M, SEC school, recruited to play quarterback, right? So that's impressive to me. He can block a little bit, not as good of a blocker as some of the other tight ends in this class, but good enough that he can get by. He can line up everywhere. He understands leverage, which is, I don't want to say a rare trait as far as tight ends are concerned, but it's a lot more of a wide receiver type trait. A lot of tight ends will just body a guy, box out, right? That sort of thing, just use their brute strength instead of just understanding leverage, watching hips, watching the DBs, watching the defender, and kind of reacting to what you're given. So that's kind of what I liked out of Eli Stowers. So I thought he might be my tight end 1. He ended up being 2, but I like him very, very much. Realistically, as far as best ball is concerned, as it sits right this second, I'm probably only drafting Kenyon Sadiq and Eli Stowers. Those are probably the only 2 that I'm realistically going to draft. Maybe Michael Trigg. And he could fall for me. He was an interesting one as far as the 7 drops, but I also thought he had nice hands. So I didn't really understand how he had so many drops. I guess quarterback play, but Sawyer Robertson is a better quarterback than, well, I'm not going to say better quarterback, but a more pro style, NFL type of a quarterback than Diego Pavia, in my opinion, for Vanderbilt. So it was really weird that he had 7 drops. When I'm watching tape, he seems like he had nice hands to me. That go up and get it, high point type stuff. Very athletic, red zone threat, fun to watch, catches the ball with his hands away from his body, super long arms. So again, a really, really, really dangerous red zone threat. I don't think I had a comp for any of these 3 so far. No, I didn't, but I really like Trigg. Mostly it's a tough one as far as the rankings, as far as Trigg and then the next 2 guys. I'm not going to be changing this top 5. This is my top 5 for sure. But a Trigg could fall, I suppose. I really liked what I saw to Jack Endries. Ivy League, heavily Ivy League recruited, which again, smart guy. That's good to see. Chose to walk on at Cal, local kind of product. Chose to walk on instead, and then just earn it and play. And then he transferred out to Texas, and there you go. So nice blocker who can set the edge. I saw that multiple times for the running back. Right? Just setting the edge, running back makes a play, boom, there you go. That's NFL type stuff. That's NFL traits that NFL teams and offensive coordinators look for. Can you block? Can you play in line? Right? 75% receiving rate. I like that a lot. That's nice to see. Can run well in space. Really good at selling screens and delays. So again, like stuff that you need out of your tight end, the little things at the NFL level that you need out of your tight end, I think Jack Endries can do. I really liked his tape. I liked what I saw. It's really close as far as Jack Endries and Sam Roush for me. Really, really close. And then my comp for Jack Endries was Cade Otton. Very, very similar in my opinion. as far as an inline tight end who can block a little bit, catch the ball, run well in space, that sort of thing. Smart guy. It can kind of do it all. He's a complete tight end for me. So Trig could fall. Who do I think gets on the field more as far as like snap share? I think Endries has a better chance than Trig. I think Roush has a better chance than Trig. But who could have a higher ceiling? It's definitely Trig. So that's kind of why I had him at 3 ahead of Endries and Roush. And Roush is a guy that I really, really, really liked. Man, NFL body, NFL lineage, 2 uncles and his grandpa played in the NFL. His dad was a DB at Duke as well. 7 drops. So again, like I was saying about the tight ends, there's a lot of drops in there for tight ends, and it's kind of sometimes it can be who their quarterback is and the offense. So Stanford's quarterback situation was atrocious and has been for years and years and years. So a lot of that could be put on the quarterback situation, but the 10% career drop rate is a little bit concerning for me. That was another reason that I put him below Jack Endries, but maybe the best blocker in this class. So very, very quality blocker, low ADOT and a low, yards per route run. But again, is that all his fault? Hard to say, right? I mean, that's not necessarily a knock on him. But it's just something I wanted to point out. But big, strong tight end who can move. I comped him to Kyle Rudolph was my comp for Sam Roush. I really, really like these two. So like in dynasty leagues, in fantasy dynasty leagues, I'm going to be picking a lot of Jack Endries and Sam Roush for sure, because are they going to hit as rookies? Not necessarily. I think they can get on the field and they can have like a Gunnar Helm type rookie season, even how Chig Okonkwo was as a rookie as well. A Kate Otten type rookie season, stuff like that. I think they can do, call it 300 to 400 yards, maybe 4 to 5 even with, 4 touchdowns, something like that. They can be fantasy relevant, but who's more likely to get, let's say, 5+ touchdowns? Is it Roush, Endries, or Trig? It's definitely Michael Trig for me, but it's really close. But I really like all 5 of these tight ends. I really, really like all of them. But as far as like who I like, I would probably put Trig at 5. I like Sadiq the most, then Stowers, Endries, Roush, or A1A, 3A, 3B as we can call it, and then Trig would be my number 5. But I really like all of these guys as far as NFL products, NFL tight ends, and we can kind of take it from there. Max Clare is number 6. I like him. He's kind of fine. I think he's a little bit more of a project than people think. I don't think he's I don't think he's ready to start in the NFL right away. Maybe towards the end of the season, sure. But he moves well with good feet, should be really quick in the 40, might be one of the faster 40s as far as running at the combine. Adequate size for NFL tight end. I think, again, he needs a little bit of time to develop. I feel like maybe a season, something like that. I think he can be really good, but I think these other tight ends will have a shot to get on the field and produce, in their rookie season sooner than Max Clare would, personally. That's how I see it. Oscar Delp, number 7, just fine. Tall, long, decent hands, 3 drops in college, which is really nice. 70+% receiving rate, which is really nice. But I thought he might struggle with some NFL blocking. I thought he played as a kind of a big slot a little more than he probably should have. I think, and maybe he is a really good blocker, just didn't get a chance to do it as much on tape from what I saw. So maybe I need to see a little bit more tape of him blocking, and that could change. It's just the vibe that I got from the little bit of tape that I was able to find on Oscar Delp. I think he's fine. I just don't think realistically he's going to be like a fantasy producer. He might be a better in real life type of player or tight end, but I don't think he's going to be super fantasy relevant at many points of his career realistically. Tanner Koziel, I think a lot of guys are going to like him based on his stat profile, but like, watch the guy on tape. He's pretty clunky. Big slot type tight end, but not as strong as I'd like to see, as in he didn't break a lot of tackles. The dude was a catch and fall down merchant, which, can work in the NFL, but I just don't think there's enough juice, twitch, or anything like that for him to get open at the NFL level and and be able to like can he beat soft press and catch and fall down for 6 yards? Yeah. Who can't? You know what I mean? What tight end in the NFL can't do that? So, what is he really going to offer? And then might struggle to get on the field at the next level. Why do I think that? Because again, he's a big slot type of wide tight end. He's not that inline blocker. He's got the size for it. Don't get me wrong. He's just never done it. He was basically like the number one option at Ball State before he transferred over to Houston. Um, so I don't know. I had a hard time with Tanner Koziel I thought I was going to like him based on just, again, I saw the stat profile and I'm like, oh man, this guy must be a stud. He must be good. I'm probably going to like him. But then I put on the tape and it just wasn't there. If I'm being honest with you, it just wasn't there. So I have him ranked probably lower than most. But I just like these top five, and that will not change. It really won't. And then the rest, I don't know. You could throw kind of anybody in there. Jaron Kanik, with 1 year of tight end experience, played linebacker at Oklahoma and in high school. And then there's a couple guys tore their ACLs twice. Lake McCree and Eli Raridan both tore their ACLs twice. That's kind of concerning. Justin Jolly played like an X receiver, which, I just do not think he's going to be able to do that at the NFL level. I really, really don't. Strong with good size, sure, but he wasn't asked to block much at all. And he's just not going to be able to accomplish what he did in in college in the NFL. He's just not going to be able to accomplish that, I don't think. So I'm not going to have him ranked any higher than 9, I suppose. But realistically, like, pick your poison here. I don't know. I need to maybe watch Bauer Sharp. I couldn't get any tape on a couple of these guys, so we'll see if something pops up. But realistically, I do not think that any of these guys, I didn't mind Eli Raridan, the little bit that I got to see of him. But again, this ACL thing twice, that kind of hurts. He does have some football lineage. I think his dad and his grandpa and his uncle or something like that. He's like a 3-generation Notre Dame Fighting Irish, in his family. And his yards per route run was good, but he only got that one starting season because, again, he ripped his ACL twice. So that's pretty concerning. Realistically, I'm not worried about the rest of these tight ends, if I'm being honest. So that's my tight end rankings. I do not think they're going to change much at all, though Andrews and Roush could move up. I like them a ton. I'm going to be drafting them a ton. I see a lot of, like I said, the comps, Cade Otton and Kyle Rudolph in here. So we'll see what they do. But I don't think I'm going to change it too much. Good analysis while scouting from afar. You offer great info at the start of every show. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you. Huhaim's in the house. What's up, man? Appreciate you coming in. So where I did the most work in the last little bit since the last time I pulled up my spreadsheet was at wide receiver. So let's pull that up. I was watching PPR Tyler's show earlier, and it kind of pissed me off as I put in his chat. We're very similar as far as our top 7. We're very, very similar. So yeah, that kind of, we see the game similarly, I think. So it kind of is, I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. I just wish it was a little bit different I don't know why. I just do. So Mekhi Lemon, again, I said it on the first, he was the only guy I had ranked in the first time I showed the spreadsheet. I think for me personally, he's number 1, and it's not particularly close for me. It's really not. I have Lemon at number 1. I've had him at number 1 since the start of everything. He's the only wide receiver I had ranked, and I had him ranked at number 1, and that will not change. I think he has the most upside. I think he's the most pro-ready. Biletnikoff winner, over 3 yards per route run in the last 2 years, which is amazing. But he will be a slot receiver, I think, to start. But I think he can play everywhere. He's got the route tree for it. He's a good enough route runner to do it. Amon-Ra is my. And a lot of people are saying that it's not like I'm breaking ground over there. It's kind of a lazy comp, if I'm being honest with you. But watch his tape and tell me you don't see some Amon-Ra in there. I don't think you can do that. So I have Mekhi Lemon at number 1. Then I have Carnell Tate, and this is where I struggled a bunch. I like Denzel Boston a lot. I like him a lot because he's got the size, speed stuff and the hands that I really, really like in a wide receiver. But and again, this is not breaking any ground either. And I think this is why a lot of people have a similar rankings as me, because Tate is just the most safe. He is the most safe. I don't think he's at the level of some of the other Ohio State wide receivers. And other people have said this too, like he's never been the number 1 receiver on his own team, right? So that's a bit of a concern, but Emeka Egbuka wasn't necessarily, number 1 on his team either. And I was a massive, and still am a massive fan and believer of Emeka Egbuka. All academic, that's great. Smart receiver, you like that. Z traits, which again is not a knock. Your Z wide receiver could be your number 1. It's just the traits that I kind of see. But a wide receiver 2 in the NFL is most likely for me. Small sample size, 53 targets, but 3.5 yards per route run is very nice. Very nice to see. So again, it's just as far as floor ceiling type of thing, who do you go with? Who do I think has a higher ceiling between Tate and Tyson? I think it's Tyson for sure. But there's a long list of injuries, which we all know about and we're very familiar with, but he's got some questionable hands a little bit. He had 7 drops in 2024, but then only 1 in 2025. I thought the tape suggested he had or should have had more drops. So that was a concern for me. But as far as off the line of scrimmage, he might be the best and probably is the best in the class as far as off the line of scrimmage. Maybe he was asked to do too much. Again, Z traits, but good separator. Again, with his moves off the line of scrimmage, he's going to separate. And then he's got the speed, but injuries might be a concern when it comes with the long-term potential for Jordan Tyson. Hard to say. Denzel Boston is my number 4. Again, it's just that we'll see if he, and this is, I will only change these rankings when the combine happens. If let's say Denzel Boston comes out and runs a 4.3, which I absolutely do not expect him to do, but if he did, I would say, okay, Denzel Boston passes Jordan Tyson for me. I wanted to put Boston at 2. And if he runs a 4.3, shit, maybe he does jump to 2 for me. Hard to say exactly. I do not expect him to run a 4.3. That's for sure. But I think 4.4 is definitely, on the table for Denzel Boston. But again, it's just a really strong hands. I saw a lot of Drake London, it's not my comp. Drake London is not my comp for Denzel Boston, but I do see a lot of Drake London in his game. I'll say that. Mostly the hands catching and the body work that I saw on tape. That's what I like about Denzel Boston. Jeremy Bernard, I have at number 5. I like him more than a lot of people, but some people like him just as much as me. PPR Tyler being one of those guys. Mind you, he didn't have him ranked yet, but we'll see. I'd imagine he has him close to here. So yeah, can line up anywhere. Good size, good instincts with the ball in his hands. I think his yak ability was kind of underutilized or undernoticed, I should say. I don't know what the verbiage I want to use, but I thought there was more meat on the bone as far as his yak ability on tape. He may settle in the slot, but I think he can play everywhere. I think he can move outside. He might be similar to Mekhi Lemon in the, he starts in the slot, but starts to get mixed in outside, and then he kind of can be used anywhere, including in the backfield. So I like Jeremy Bernard more than a lot of people, but I doubt there's anyone that likes him too much more than me. But there you go, ranked at 5. Omar Cooper, fantastic. I have him at 6. 2.5 yards per route run in his career is very encouraging. Strong with the ball in his hand, so his after the catch dude is a bit of a tank. He's kind of got, when the ball's in his hands after the catch, he's got some Debo in there a little bit, which is very encouraging. Likely to excel in the slot. So I think, again, he can start off in the slot, and I think that's where he can excel in those slot routes. But he can be mixed in anywhere. He can play anywhere. I think there was a lot of screens. So again, that's that Debo in him with the ball in his hands. Just give it to him and let him run. Again, he can run the ball a little more. Debo talk, right? Maybe that should just be his comp, but he's not the size of Debo. But he should do well at the combine. I think he should run well. I think he should test fairly well. So I think that's going to push him up. Do I think he can move up in my rankings? I think it'll be tough. Maybe he can move ahead of Bernard for sure. But he's not getting ahead of Boston for me. So I think he kind of tops out at 5, which is, it's a good quality wide receiver class. That's definitely not a knock. So I do like Cooper. I think he's going to do well. And yeah, I like him. I'm drafting him. I have Casey Concepcion at number 7, though I'm not as high. And I think that this ranking here just says I'm not as high on him as most. I think he's just a little bit more gadgety. Super dangerous with the ball in his hands, and he's destined for the slot. Sorry, but 19 drops in 3 years. That's very concerning. He will be a returner 100%. I think my comp for him is very on point, and that's Marvin Mims. I think that that's very, very accurate. I really do. So we'll see. It depends on his landing spot. Like, people like to say he's landing spot dependent, that sort of thing. And I think that this is the first wide receiver on the list that's truly landing spot dependent and, coaching staff, offensive coordinator dependent. I think he's the first one on this list. So, and also the way I see the NFL going, right? The direction that I see offenses going is more run heavy, more 12 personnel, potentially 13 personnel, 2 wide receivers on the field. Do I see Casey Concepcion being one of those 2 wide receivers? Not particularly. So that might hurt him a little bit in, subsequent years, much like it did Marvin Mims, right? So we'll see, but I'm lower on Casey than most. We'll say that. Elijah Surratt next. Big-bodied outside wide receiver, creates leverage well. Again, he just boxes guys out. So tough cover one-on-one on back shoulders, a lot of back shoulder and jump ball type stuff, which is NFL caliber and what you would want on an outside wide receiver in the NFL. But is that meaning that he's not creating enough space? I don't know. Very strong with or without the ball. So I saw a little bit, and take this with a super grain of salt, but I saw a little bit of Puka Nacua in that with the ball in his hands. I saw a little bit of Puka Nacua there, but Romeo Doubs is more my comp to Elijah Surratt. As far as like there was a 2 touchdown game at some point. I don't remember the team even. And I had Romeo Doubs in fantasy in DFS that week because I liked the matchup. And anyways, he caught 2 touchdown passes, both like 5-yard fades. That's kind of what I see Elijah Surratt being in the NFL, is just a red zone. Again, a lot like Romeo Doubs is. And then he can have some after the catch type of stuff. So we'll see. But I do like Surratt for sure. But he could fall. There are some concerns, but I'm not 100% if they're legitimate concerns or not. And they're my concerns. So I'm not even sure if they're legit or not. But it's an interesting one. I do like Surratt, won a national championship. So there you go. Number 9, I think I'm going to be higher than, I don't know, a lot of people on Ted Hurst. We'll see. I think I've seen some people on the Twitter machine that have been higher than me, but man, watching his tape, it's encouraging. Georgia State, it's not a household name, but it's still FBS, man. Like, it's still, they're still playing top talent. They are. They're still playing SEC teams, right? They play the Florida States, the Vanderbilts, the teams like that. Like, it's still FBS. It's not like he's playing at South Dakota State, right? But there's some encouraging stuff with him. Really good feet. So that was extremely encouraging. So if Jordan Tyson is number 1 off the line of scrimmage, I think Ted Hurst is number 2 in this class as far as his feet and his releases off the line of scrimmage, his moves, off the line of scrimmage, number 2, in my opinion. But he's got that size speed combo that I love personally. Really good body control, which is something you love to see in the NFL. Deep threat who catches with his hands and stays grounded. Though he stays grounded when he's afforded the opportunity. Some of the throws, again, Georgia State, the quarterback wasn't, winning the Heisman, but when he had the opportunity to stay on the ground, he did, and he would run through slants, things like that, run through posts, routes, digs, stuff like that. That I'd really like to see. The 13 drops was concerning in the last 2 seasons. That is concerning. But again, a lot of that could fall on the quarterback situation at Georgia State. So, it's not necessarily all on him, those drops. I'm not going to put all of those drops on him. But I thought he was a fantastic watch. I'm trying to gobble up as many shares of Ted Hurst as I can right now. I think he'll test fairly well. He also put on about 13 pounds between his junior year and his senior year. Another encouraging thing about him, realizing he's a little too small, thin maybe, right? Adds, 10 to 15 pounds roughly. He weighed in at 207. So 6'3" and some change, 207 at the Senior Bowl. That's exactly what we want out of our wide receiver in the NFL. So I really like Ted Hurst, really liked him a lot. He could move up, but I don't know for who realistically. It's kind of tough to put him over any of these guys, but I'm going to be drafting Ted Hurst maybe to the point of Kyle Williams last year. We'll see. He could just be my guy. I really like Ted Hurst, really liked him. We always support each other. I was in Who Hames earlier today watching PPR Tyler. I was watching the Toxic Tower before this. It's good. It's good community. Everybody, shows love for each other. So yeah, absolutely. We were very close in top 8. Basically, I have Cooper Bernard swapped. Yeah, man. I think ball knowers just know, because PPR Tyler's was like literally the same. And that's what kind of pissed me off. I was like, fuck my life. We literally have the same rankings. Like, no one's going to change the top 4. No one's going to change that. I guess if you like Omar Cooper more than some of these guys, okay. But like Cooper and Bernard, yeah, those are the ones that might swap for me. We'll see. But other than that, like it's not changing for me at all. Casey Concepcion could fall, I guess, but it's tough. Like if anyone does, like Ted Hurst could move up. I don't know if Surratt's going to get ahead of Casey for me, but Ted Hurst could move up even further. Definitely fun. Actually, I have Tate 1 pretty clearly. Yeah, that's fair. Like, I get it. It's a floor play with Tate. He's just NFL ready. He's a pro wide receiver. I get it. But I think for me, it's not even close, and it's lemon. But I get having Tate there. I even get having Tyson there. But I obviously the injury concerns and stuff like that, but let's wrap this up a little bit. We got at 10, rounding out the top 10, I have Kevin Coleman. I really liked his tape. Mississippi State. He can do a bunch of different things. He can return a little bit. He can line up almost anywhere, again, including the backfield. I think he'll prefer, and I prefer the slot for him, but just get the ball in his hands. Super shifty. Can jump around and break tackles. He can line up literally everywhere. Like I said, backfield, you name it. He can line up anywhere you need him to. And then 4 different schools. So he was one of those Deion Sanders disciples, right? He went to, was it Jackson State or Colorado first? Either way, it was with Deion. I think it was with Colorado. So I think people are going to knock him for that. They're going to say, oh man, he couldn't stay put or jumping around, hired mercenary kind of a vibe. I don't know what they're going to say about Kevin Coleman, but for me, that's actually encouraging, right? 4 different schools, 4 different situations, 4 different offenses, 4 different coaching staffs, 4 different offensive coordinators, 4 different wide receiver coaches, 4 different quarterbacks, right? Like, to me, that means he can walk into the NFL and say, okay, I've done this 4 times. I can play on this team, whatever team. And he produced too. He produced at all of his stops. So I think he can walk into an NFL roster, team, offense, whatever, and say, what do you need me to do? Okay, I can do that. I've done it before. Boom, get me on the field. Let's go to work. So I like Kevin Coleman probably more than most. And those are the kind of reasons why. So Chris Bell, I have at 11. I'm not sure if he was healthy, maybe I like him more. I don't know. There's Definitely some shades of AJ Brown in his game. Jacked guy, built, put together. I like Chris Bell quite a bit. And again, like the quarterback situation could be part of the issue with him. So, and again, towards ACL November 22nd, he won't be available all offseason. He will be available at some point in the NFL season. I'm not drafting Chris Bell in best ball. I'm not going to do it, but I do like him in, say, dynasty leagues and things like that. Absolutely. But do I see him as a top 10? Maybe. I mean, he could get ahead of Coleman, but I don't really see any higher than that, even if he were completely healthy. So I do like Chris Bell, but I think that's kind of healthy where he falls in for me right there. Then I have Skylar Bell, who I like, again, more than most. Good awareness of defenders' hips, which I like to see. 22 drops in 4 seasons, definitely a concern. Quarterback situation could be a thing there as well. Inside or out, but I think he'll thrive in the slot, and then we'll see where he goes from there. And I did talk about him before, so I don't want to go too far into Skylar Bell, but Khalil Shakir is my comp for him. And then I got Antonio Williams at 13. Pretty much slot only. Led the team as a true freshman. He's very experienced. Maybe he should have left after his junior year. He did have 8 drops his junior year, but maybe that was a bit of an anomaly considering the rest of his college career. And the dude's just a pro. He's just a professional wide receiver who's going to get on the field, but at what clip? Hard to say. He's a slot-only guy, so it's hard to say how often he's going to be able to get on the field and who drafts him. Very landing spot dependent as well. So we'll see how that kind of works out. But again, it's just his pro readiness is kind of where I'm at with Antonio Williams. So Chris Bell, easily top 10 if healthy. He's a yak monster. Again, that's the AJ Brown I see out of him is in the yards after catch type of stuff. Strong as a horse. There you go. Big, strong, fast. A lot of AJ Brown I saw. And again, he would maybe top Coleman, but I'm not putting him ahead of Hurst. I'm not putting him ahead of Hurst. Ahead of Surratt, maybe. Concepcion, maybe. So I'm not going to argue what you're saying here at all. Definitely. I have him at 11, so I'm definitely not going to argue that. But I'm not putting him ahead of Hurst. I'll tell you that. But again, that's weird. I'm saying he could pass Surratt for me, but not Hurst. Not happening. And then the rest of the guys, I'm going to start ranking 15 wide receivers just because we need a little more than just the top 10, I feel like. But other than that, I'm not a big Malachi Fields guy at all. At all. I know a lot of people like him, including Daniel Jeremiah. A lot of people like Malachi Fields, but I'm just not sold. Sub 60%. So couldn't even have a 60% receiving rate. That's pretty sad in college. Excellent 50-50 winner. Yeah, but again, he's not creating separation. I thought he was going to weigh in heavier than he did because he looked like it on tape to me. Definitely dangerous in the red zone. He was a high school quarterback, which is something I always like to see as far as receivers, tight ends are concerned. The dude's a tank, but again, he might struggle to get separation. I'm going to get rid of this, probably the future tight end. I thought he would weigh in at like low 230s, high 220s. Is what I thought he would weigh in at. I think he was like 217 or something like that. So I just am really not there on Malachi Fields, nowhere near as high as a lot of other people seem to be. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing it, but I'm just not seeing it. I don't mind Deion Burks, but as far as what he does well, I think Kevin Coleman is a better version of all of it, personally. Fun with the ball in his hands, can line up different spots, NFL slot for sure, slot guy, fairly complete route tree, good leverage, sure. He was fine, but again, everything that he does well, Kevin Coleman does better, in my opinion. So I couldn't get him in maybe he'll be 14, 15, I don't know. Again, Daniel Jeremiah had him in his top 50, which I don't know if I could see that, but there you go. The Texas Tech guys, both extremely similar to each other, but I prefer Reggie Virgil over Douglas, almost like no question there. Similar traits, but he's thicker, faster, and more complete. Pretty good after the catch. Yeah, give me Virgil over Caleb Douglas for sure, but I don't think either of them will break my top 15. We talked about Jacoby Lane, on the PPR Tyler show, and I don't mind him. He probably he needs polishing. He needs some work, I feel like, but he can walk into an NFL offense and be a red zone threat, any NFL offense, and be a red zone threat. So I don't mind that about his game. It's just kind of all he offers as a rookie. So we'll see where he goes in best ball drafts, but I haven't drafted him, I don't think yet, maybe once or twice. And he might get to 14, 15, probably does, because I'm struggling with who else I kind of want to put in here. Eric Rivers, again, similar to Kevin Coleman, similar to Deion Burks, but Deion Burks does everything better than Rivers, and Coleman certainly does everything better than Rivers. So hard to win on the outside with his frame. I think going to have to return kicks to make a team, I believe. He played on the outside at Georgia Tech and at, where was it? I want to say Old Dominion. He played before Georgia Tech. And he's an outside wide receiver, and I just do not think he has the frame to do it in the NFL. That's for sure. So he's not going to crack my top 15. I would love to put Chase Roberts in there. I think he's fantastic. I think he's really good. I think he's an NFL player. I have drafted him a couple times. I think the direction that the NFL is going, I think he can get on the field. But I don't know. I don't want to let my I don't want to say love, but I think he's one of my guys for sure. And I do think he can get on the field, all those things. It's going to depend on the combine, what he runs in the 40. If he can get there and all of those things, we'll see. I like Chase Roberts a lot. I really do. Zachariah Branch, I would like to find more tape on him before I give a complete, thought about Zachariah Branch, but I'm not a big Branch guy at all, personally. Chris Brazzell, I don't mind. I think he should have went anywhere other than Tennessee. Anywhere would have been fine. I did like his Tulane tape, and maybe he should have just stayed at Tulane, but I get it with Michael Pratt, the quarterback, when he graduated, went to the NFL, Brazzell left. I get that. Outside wide receiver, X wide receiver, tough one-on-one cover, long lead fast, and he's just better and more complete than Thornton. So we'll see what he gets for draft capital. I'm drafting him a little bit. I don't mind him. So yeah, I'll probably find a way to get him in the top 15 as well. But there's a couple candidates there. I'm not a Bryce Lance guy whatsoever. I think it's going to be tough for him to translate into the NFL. I really do. I don't think he's as fast as people want to think or do think. But we'll see. I'm open to being wrong on Bryce Lance. I just don't see it personally. Brennan Thompson, straight up deep threat guy. Might run in the 4.2s for real. This dude is going to be the fastest, probably throw up the fastest 40 at the combine if he's going. I think he's going. Literally might run in the 4.2s. If Matthew Golden runs a 4.2, I think Brennan Thompson might run a 4.2. I really don't know how he was not a returner in college. That makes less than 0 sense to me. But he played on the outside, and I highly doubt that continues in the NFL. He could be, I was trying to find a comp, and it's like Taylor Gabriel maybe, or like maybe Brandon Cooks-ish a little bit in there. I couldn't really nail it down. I still think I can and will find a comp for him. I'm just not sure who it's going to be, but straight up deep threat is all he is in the NFL. Maybe Darius Davis sort of thing. I don't know. Hard to say exactly who I can comp him to, but I don't mind him. I think there's a place for him in the NFL, but it has to include returning kicks. So that's how he's going to make a team, 100%. So we'll see. Eric McAllister, I like a lot. He had a gun arrest in 2024. That's not good. NFL teams definitely don't want to see that, obviously. Well put together with X traits. Strong at contact, leads to yak, very good ball tracking skills, which I like to see. And then late hands on back shoulders and over the shoulder type stuff, which is rare to see for college and wide receivers. Very rare to see them with those late NFL type hands. So I comped his late hands type of stuff to Devontae Adams, who's one of the best in the NFL right now for sure. And that I'm most certainly not comping Eric McAllister in any way, shape, or form to Devontae Adams. I want to make that clear. but there's some traits in there that are kind of similar, and that's rare to see for college wide receivers. So I do like McAllister. He's another guy that might crack my top 15 there, but we'll see where it lands. I do want to watch both Cyrus Allen and Tyron Montgomery, who were both Senior Bowl darlings, but neither got invited to the combine, which definitely hurts them. Kind of sucks that they didn't get invited, but I do want to watch those two. So there's only a few more guys, like I mentioned, that can even crack these final two spots. I don't see a way that I can take Antonio Williams out of my top 15. Out of my top 15. I really don't see a way when he's just a pro-ready NFL receiver. Is he going to be a good, high-producing NFL receiver? Not likely, but he could be like a very poor man's Khalil Shakir, like 500 to 600 yards, 3 touchdowns kind of guy consistently out of the slot, something like that. So I have a hard time changing this. I really do. The only thing that sticks out that I could really change would be Cooper for Bernard and maybe moving Ted Hurst up to 7 realistically, but we'll see where it goes. So that's kind of my rankings where I'm at right now. Like I said, I'm probably about 3/4 of the way done. I'm pretty good on tight end. I don't think I really need to do too much more work here. Wide receivers, I have a little bit more to do. Running backs, a little bit, and a lot of work on the quarterbacks. So that's quarterback is kind of what I'm going to focus on for the next little bit as far as getting my ranks put together. So we are going to get rid of that. Let's pull up Underdog. Let's do that. Bear with me. We're going to rip a draft. Got to change the screens I'm sharing. Booyah. Okay. Let's jump into a big board. Jump in if you want to jump in. Waiting on 8. So tons of room. Water's nice. Water's warm. Let's check the chat. Also not sold on Fields, but sounds like NFL has an early second or I know. I don't get it. I really just don't. I don't see it. And maybe I'm the only one, but it sounds like you're not either. I just don't see it. I just don't see it with Fields. I really don't. He looks more like a Notre Dame tight end to me. So I don't know. It's like Kelvin Benjamin, man. Dorian Green Beckham. Like, I just don't see it. I really don't. His Tulane stuff was pretty fun, talking about Chris Brazzell, obviously. Yeah, I thought his Tulane tape was really, really good, really fun. So again, maybe you should have stayed there, but I get it. Your quarterback leaves, you go to a bigger program, that kind of stuff. I get it. I get wanting to leave. Lance's 40 time matters a lot, 100%. If he goes out and runs in the 4.3s, I might be changing my tune a fair amount. But if he runs a 4.5, like I think he will, that's gonna end it for him. I feel like that's gonna kill him. So hard to say. Is Thompson this year's DK? Although DK did have return production in college, maybe. I think DK is quite a bit bigger than Brendan Thompson, isn't he? Let me see his combine measurements for Chimere DK. I think he's like 6 foot 180, isn't he? Something like that. Even bigger, 6'1", 196 for Chimere DK. That's a lot bigger than Brendan Thompson. So maybe some similar stuff, I suppose, but I don't think they're the same at all as far as receivers are concerned. But he could be. I mean, as far as production, he could be. He definitely could be. Bijan Gibbs, I would have loved to have gotten, a Bijan or a Gibbs share, but being third is nice. I haven't been 3 like ever. Let's take a Puka because I don't have any Puka. I usually take Chase here. But let's take a Puka with Stafford 100% coming back. Let's take a Puka share because I don't have a single one yet. And again, not for lack of trying. That's for damn sure. So we got Champ X3, Stephen Hines in the chat at the 2 spot. Mr. Mufasa at the 7. We got I think King Cause is King Cause in the chat at the 11 spot. King of Kings, Frank's at the 12 spot. If I didn't mention you and you're in the chat, let me know. Or you can lurk, go nuts, do whatever you want to do. But we got a few chat members in the draft with us, so it'll be fun. Dark Side's in the house. What's up, man? Appreciate you. Did someone say Antonio Williams? Yes, sir. I think he's a pro wide receiver, pro ready, slot only though. And yeah, we'll see where he goes. We'll see where he goes. I don't even know where a good landing spot would be off the top of my head. Yeah, maybe somewhere like Atlanta, local, right? That would make some sense. But I don't know. I've been saying Atlanta needs a good slot receiver for like 3 years, and they just keep refusing to draft one or sign one. So I don't see Branch at all. Yeah, I don't see much there with Zachariah Branch. I have a really hard time. With him. I mean, I think I've drafted him a couple times, but it's been like at pick like 200 plus when he was going at like 160 or something, when he was just super falling. And even now I find it hard to click him. Like, give me some of those other guys which is like, why was I drafting Branch at all when I have these other wide receivers ahead of him that go behind him in fantasy drafts? So I don't get it either, but I have drafted him a few times and I don't know why. We got Mr. Mufasa in here. What's up, man? Appreciate you coming in. I need to watch Thompson. He didn't make my original list. Take a look, man. He's fast as fuck, man. Literally will be the fastest wide receiver at the combine. Mark my words, could literally run in the 4.2s. The dude is fast, very fast. Wow, George Pickens. I made a video about it the other day. We're not gonna talk about it. Let's do Nico. Let's do Nico. I'm not going to talk about George Pickens today. We're not talking about George Pickens today. Makes a lot of sense why I'm in on Lance and you aren't. I think he's like a 4.35. Yeah, I mean, if he's a 4.3 guy, I might be changing my tune a little bit. I just don't see it. I think he's a 4.5 type of guy, but we'll see. Rubbing elbows, yeah. Yeah, you're at hopefully you don't snipe me too much. We'll see how she goes. Mendoza may just be the football equivalent of Mendoza line in baseball. Teams shouldn't force QB just to fill a need. I mean, I kind of felt that way about Cam Ward last year, but like he was the QB1. Don't get me wrong. Does that mean that he like de facto automatically deserves to be the I love me some Bucky, man. I've been saying this since day one. Now it's the one tweet comes out where he's going to be used like Bijan, and all of a sudden everyone's in on Bucky. I've been in on Bucky since fucking the word go, man. So anyways, Bucky's the pick here. But I kind of felt that way about Cam Ward. Like he just because he's the number one wide receiver and he fills the need for you when you're the number one pick. I get it. Like you can't really do anything else. You're kind of forced to pick him. And it's the same thing with the Raiders, which is why Mendoza will be the pick for the Raiders, right? It is what it is. So I'm not disagreeing with you here. I like Mendoza though. I like Mendoza a lot. But at the same time, like, would I rank if Mendoza and Cam Ward were both in this draft class together right now? Would I rank Mendoza over Ward? It'd be very close, super, super close. As far as size wise, I suppose I would go Mendoza. I feel like Mendoza's got a little bit more dog in him, but I like Ward too. I've drafted him quite a bit now. It just kind of is what it is. So I don't disagree with this, but it's the same sort of thing as the Cam Ward situation last year, I feel like, which is why the Raiders will draft Mendoza first overall, 100%. That kid like Gonzalez from New England. What about him? Yeah, he's ridiculously good. He had an unbelievable playoffs and Super Bowl. I'm not going to say he was borderline. Well, if the Patriots won somehow, maybe he finds a way if he had like a pick six Super Bowl MVP. But man, Gonzalez is sick. He is sick. Oh, Terrence is in the 1-1. T-Bear 81. I never knew your underdog handle. So there you go. Welcome. Yeah. Nice on the 1-1. I got 1-1 one time. Once the other day. I got one Bijan chair. It was glorious. I don't have any Gibbs. Again, not for lack of trying. I got my one share of Nakua so far, not for lack of trying. He cut them in the game, and I would say if Gonzalez didn't play, they lose about 30. Yeah, you're probably not wrong there. Yeah, Gonzalez was unbelievable. Nobody wants to hear this, but Antonio Williams would be fine on the Browns. Absolute Judy killer. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but like, are you then drafting Antonio Williams if he goes to the Browns? I am not. I would even less than the little bit I am right now, personally. I'm kind of avoiding the Browns like the plague right now, personally, as far as drafting is concerned. Their ADPs are just out of whack. Harold Fanning goes a little bit too high. Judkins goes a little bit too high for me, and I definitely don't like the quarterback situation. So, yeah, it won't make me draft Antonio Williams. Yeah, that's exactly what that'd be an Antonio Williams killer and a Judy killer, like you mentioned. Fantasy Football Garage. We got the Candyman in the house. What's up, man? Mendoza's the real deal. I think he is too. Honestly, gun to my head, I would put Mendoza ahead of Cam Ward. I would. I'll just say it. I'll just admit it. I would put Mendoza. I just have never. I don't know why I didn't want to say it before. I would put Mendoza ahead of Cam Ward. He just has more dog in him, and he's a little bit bigger, like stature wise. So give me Mendoza over Cam Ward. Plus, the situation in Las Vegas is much better than it is in Tennessee. Weapons, coaching staff, etc., etc. So, yeah, I'm in on all that. I guess in a vacuum, actually, it's Waddle for me. It's Waddle for me over all of these guys. I think Waddle's being kind of disrespected ADP wise. So give me Waddle. I hate these running backs, all of them in this area here, including Henderson, including Scadaboo, Harvey, Judkins, Javonte, Swift. I don't particularly like any of these running backs, and I like a ton of these wide receivers. So I'm pretty much always drafting wide receiver in the 4-5 turn, the 4th and 5th rounds, if you will. I'm pretty much always drafting wide receiver, which is why I want to get ahead of the game at running back. But Puka, Nico, I could have went with another running back over Nico, but it is what it is. Let's do Rome. I need to get more of Rome. It would typically be Mekhi Lemon for me, but I need to stick to my guns as far as my Rome Odunze takes in past years, because I still have the same feelings about Rome Odunze. And he was hurt for the majority of the whole, basically when he fell off a cliff. Why did he fall off a cliff? He got hurt, and he was playing hurt and then barely practicing, etc., etc., etc. It keeps going down the list. But I still feel the same way about Rome Odunze as a player and a prospect. I still feel the same way about the offense and the offensive coordinator and the head coach. So I need to get back on the Rome Odunze train and start clicking him over these rookies, Mekhi Lemon, especially Igbuka, and definitely Tyson, but Tate is fine click there as well. If they draft anyone better not be a Lar, best take Trinidad in the 3rd. I'm not a believer in any of these quarterbacks. I don't think anyone's going to be ready to start in the NFL besides Mendoza. And that's literally it. And it was the same. It's very, very, very similar to last year's quarterback class. I didn't like any of them, even Cam Ward, to start in their rookie year. But I understood, of course, Cam Ward was going to start in year 1. Mendoza, I do think, is ready to start in the NFL year 1. But I don't expect some groundbreaking, all-time rookie season out of Mendoza, though he could in the Kubiak system with the weapons they have, as long as they can put that offensive line together a heck of a lot better than they had last year. It's possible. So Mendoza propped up by the system. He will be a Raider. There will be dysfunction. Why? Why do you say that? He doesn't seem like a diva type of a guy. He seems like a team first, my guys kind of guy. I don't think there'll be dysfunction there whatsoever. There's not going to be any sort of controversy as far as quarterback room is or who the starter is. That's for damn sure. I think he can go in and win over a locker room. Absolutely. I think that. So I don't know why you would say that. I don't agree. I think he would fit perfectly fine in any. We're gonna go Tyler Warren here. That's a smash for me. I think he could fit in any roster, in any locker room, and I think he'll be great as a Raider. Honestly, I think he'll be really good. Yeah, about the Antonio Williams, I'm pretty in on Mendoza. So am I. I'm drafting him a fair amount. Situation is the big thing. Offensive coordinator. Sorry, again, head coach. And then the weapons. They have a ton of work to do on that offensive line, though. Don't get me wrong, but they got a lot of money, and obviously this draft to piece it together. Dolphins seem like they're going into the dark ages. Yeah. I don't necessarily love Bobby Slowick either. We'll see. We'll see. I believe in the talent of Jalen Waddle is kind of the biggest reason why I like him here. He's going to be the number one. Tyreek is gone for sure. Even if he's not cut, which he will be, he might not be playing pretty much at all. So it's kind of Jalen Waddle to the moon a little bit. Who's his quarterback? I don't know. Is it Tua? Could be. If it's Tua, then I like Waddle with Tua. I don't know. I just like the talent. I really just like the talent when it comes to Waddle. And kind of just what he can do when given the opportunity. Let's go Pearsall. I kind of want to take quarterback here, but Pearsall is just kind of a stud. This is a really nice looking wide receiver room. I can back off wide receiver for a while. I could even stop at 7 potentially, but we'll see where we end up. But Waddle, like when given the opportunity to kind of be the guy right here, only on 117 targets too. Like he really showed out. He can really do some really good things with the ball in his hands, slot type of stuff. He can move around anywhere you need him to. And again, when given the opportunity, even as a rookie, like that's ridiculous as a rookie, right? 140 targets. You get him 140 targets. Yeah. 100 catches. Let's put these 2 seasons together. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for, I suppose, with my my Waddle exposure. I'm not going to say I'm expecting it, but it's definitely on the table for Jalen Waddle because we've kind of seen it. And with Tua, different offensive coordinator, obviously, and different offense, but I think it's all there. I really do. Don't trust the Raiders. That's fair, but I mean, I do trust in like Clint Kubiak, and I do trust in like Brock Bowers, Genty. You know, I think Jack Besh can be good with more opportunity. I think Trey Tucker is fine. Do they need another wide receiver? Yes, absolutely. But I think with what they have and what they can bring in and what they can kind of accomplish in free agency and in the draft, their draft is going to be big for the Raiders. Don't get me wrong, but I can certainly understand your trepidation when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's for damn sure. Mendoza is the reason people think Indiana is a system now. Yeah, we'll see what happens with who went there again. Was it Brendan Sorsby? No, Sorsby went. Who went to Indiana? His brother transferred out, which everybody kind of thought that he would just be given the starting job sort of thing, but we'll see what happens with, I can't remember his name, but whatever quarterback transferred into Indiana, we'll see how they do with him. Raiders, Browns, Jets probably have a few practice field built on Indian burial grounds. the 49ers too, maybe. Hey? Kevin Patullo, yeah, he's just a passing game coordinator. It's still Bobby Slowick. Yeah, you just good minds. Get some good minds. I'm not saying Kevin Patullo is a good mind. I'm not saying Bobby Slowick is a good offensive mind, but it's a little more experience, I guess. Kevin Patullo is not going to be the one calling plays. That's for damn sure. We're definitely going to go Monungai here. Nice little 10 pick slide. I like Kamanungai a lot. A lot. So let's go there. Definitely some other selections I can go with. I really don't like to fall this far behind on wide receiver, or sorry, running back. But yeah. Quarterback's definitely on the menu. Laporta, this is getting closer to where I would draft him. And Terrence snipes me on Brock Purdy. So we're going to go, it's either Blake Corum or I think Tyler Algier is the proper click here. Or Rico. Could just buy into the Blake Corum, buy into the Rams, but let's go Tyler Algier. Let's kind of take some risk here. I really don't like to fall this far behind at quarterback, but I'm not being given much. So I probably should have taken a quarterback. Where was it? Where I was talking about it. I don't know. Here. Pearsall, I should have taken Hurts instead of Pearsall, maybe. A lot of big dual quarterback situations. We got Josh Allen with Herbert, probably stop there. Lamar Jackson with Hurts, probably stop there. Even Daniels and Mahomes, you could probably stop there. May and Goff, that's not too far away either. So Caleb and T-Law. So we'll kind of see how this shakes out, but I'm not exactly loving the quarterback options that are remaining, that's for sure. I was kind of hoping Mayfield or Goff might push around to me. Even Knicks I would have been okay with. We're definitely getting boxed out, but it is what it is. There's still some clicks out there. Might have to pull a guy up, unfortunately, but it is what it is. That's how she goes, Bubs. It's how she goes. I like the start. I guess like Daniel Jones is an option, but I don't think I want to go down that road. That's for sure. I really don't want to go down that road. Definitely don't want to go the Tua direction. Stroud could make some sense. Stroud can definitely make some sense with what's remaining and what my team looks like. Yeah, this definitely might be a Stroud team over here. Let's take Jonah Coleman. Let's do that. Catch up a little bit more at running back. It's close for me, actually. It's real close for me, the Rico and Algier. I think you could go either way. I literally think I said that when I picked Algier as well. Like I like Dowdle. I like Dowdle a lot, actually. I think I like him more than most. I think there's a lot of he could go back to Dallas, right? I think there's a lot of places he could go and get that workload that he's looking for. Chiefs, I think, would make a lot of sense, right? So I think the Chiefs make more sense for Rico Dowdle to get signed to there than Jeremiah Love to get drafted there. And he would just fit a lot of things that they want and like to do. So I think that's a good landing spot for him. Obviously, it's a good landing spot, but I think it's very possible that he goes there. Let's go Darnold. No one wants to pick Darnold. I will. Makes sense. I need quarterback. It was between Darnold and Mendoza, and give me Darnold if that's the decision I have to make. And then I can either just go with Darnold or maybe backstack. We'll see what happens there. But I think Dowdle's fine. I think Dowdle's absolutely fine. I really do. So, but I as far as like, and maybe that's not even true either, but as far as like getting fantasy points, I like Tyler Algier to get in the end zone more than Dowdle in just a vacuum of two free agents. Just because bigger body guy, more of a goal line guy. So for what I needed as far as this team structure is concerned, that's kind of why I would go Algier over Dowdle, but it's pick your poison. I'm perfectly fine with either one. Honestly, I have a lot of Dowdle as well as far as my exposure is concerned. So looks like a Ty Simpson, Justin Fields team. No, it will not be a Ty Simpson, Justin Fields team. Who Hames, the Chiefs fan, resident Chiefs fan, says he'd love Rico and Casey. I think that makes a lot of sense. I really do. It's kind of where I've been low key drafting Dowdle, thinking he's going to land. Because I agree with a lot of people who say this. I don't expect the Chiefs to draft Jeremiah Love if he's even there. The Commanders are very live to take Love, and obviously the Saints are very live to take Love. So he may not even be there when the Chiefs go to pick. But even if he is, I'm not so sure that they take him regardless. I think that they're more likely to take a vet, again, like Rico Dowdle. I think he can make a ton of sense. Dallas, again, reunion could be on the table, but I think Javonte probably just ends up back there. But you never know. It's also possible. So I've been, low key, I've been drafting Rico Dowdle thinking he can end up in Kansas City. I think that's a very serious possibility. I think Andy Reid likes to look at Kareem Hunt being on that team forever. I think he likes having a veteran running back and not so big on the rookies some time, but he was, I want to say a bit of an anomaly. Brashard Smith didn't get much of any run with the Chiefs, and then we'll see what happens. So I think that that's a good fit for Rico as well. I think it'd make a lot of sense. So we'll see. We will see. Mr. Mufasa snipes me on Stroud. He goes Mendoza, Stroud trying to catch up at quarterback as well. That's unfortunate for me. We're definitely going Cam Ward here. That's a smash click. Have to. It would have been Stroud over Ward just as far as having the Nico situation, but I have to go with Cam Ward here. Had a decent rookie year. So again, maybe I'm wrong that he wasn't ready to start. But he definitely took some time to get there. That's for sure. So let's bring in Cam Ward. Let's do that. I like Ward actually this year. I do. In his second season, I do like Ward. And then we're just going to do Malik Willis here. And just if he ends up in Miami, I have the Waddle stack. Cool. I know he can run the ball a little bit. So he can just have some standalone value where you don't necessarily have to stack him. So I think he's going to find his way into a starting role. I'll say that. So if I have 3 starters here, that's good enough for me. So let's kind of go roll with that. And then again, I have that kind of stack option with the Miami Dolphins and Waddle. So let's try that and see if it works. I like this team. I like this texture. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's going to be a 3-6-8-3. Yeah, for sure. Pretty much for sure. But I can take some shots at wide receiver. So I have a good base with my top 5. I caught up at quarterback enough that, those 3 I think can work for me. So we'll see. Done at quarterback. I'm not taking a 4th. I'll tell you that much. Pacheco, Hunt, CH, all were way better rookies than vets. Definitely. I mean, Hunt's obviously a different conversation, but yeah, they were. We traded Darnold for Stroud. Let's do it. I'll take that trade. I'll take that trade. If only there's trading in best ball, eh? I'm actually happy with this quarterback room. I think it's fine. I think it can get the job done. If all it takes is for Cam Ward and Malik Willis to have Sam Darnold type seasons that he just had, for them to have that type of season this year, and for Darnold to take a bit of a step forward, that's all it takes for this quarterback room to make it. And then obviously one of them has to show up in week 17 sort of thing. But, all these guys can run the ball a little bit. That's kind of one thing I like about these 3 as well, is they can all get in the end zone a little bit. We saw Brock Purdy win Sam Sherman $2 million by getting into the end zone twice. And did we expect that from Brock Purdy when we were drafting him? Not particularly, but we knew it's possible. He can make that happen, right? So let's kind of roll with it. Definitely running back here for sure. Let's go Braylon over Tajay. I get the Tajay Spears with Cam Ward, and that's a fine stack option. And Tony Pollard is a cut candidate potentially, but even if he is, Spears is not going to be a full-time running back. Definitely catches the ball a lot. So again, he's a fine stacking option, but I just think that Braylon Allen has outs to be the workhorse back in a very good offensive line. So I and a defensive head coach, I like Braylon. You know, again, in a vacuum over Spears, you could certainly make the argument that in this scenario where I have Cam Ward, that I take Spears over Braylon, but it's pretty razor thin. So I'm kind of good with it either way. Chimera DK goes. I have like 1,000,000% Chimera DK. So that's fine. I'll just take AJ Barner here. Stack him up with Sam Darnold. I think it makes a lot of sense. It'll work with this tight end room as well. So let's just do that. A little bit of ADP drop, but he is falling and has been falling. Finally, Charbonnet is falling to where he kind of should be. Spears is falling. That's a nice discount for someone to get. Give me Spears over Charbonnet as far as the injury is concerned, but yeah, someone's gonna get a nice discount on Tajay Spears. 20 picks almost. That's kind of crazy if you ask me, but maybe I should have taken over Braylon. I don't know. That we'll find out in December this year. I guess it's still this year. We'll find out. And there he goes. 20 picks past ADP. Jeez. That's nice. That is nice. That is nice. Yeah, I agree with this, man. Sharp's still 30 picks too high. I'm not picking Charbonnet at all, kind of regardless of anything. Like literally no matter where he goes, as far as he's just off my board completely, personally. Like you can't tear your ACL in January and have me pick you in a fantasy draft. If Chris Bell, who tore his ACL almost 2 months earlier, is off my board, then Charbonnet is absolutely completely off my board. Though I really like Charbonnet as a player. I really, really like Zach Charbonnet as a player. But again, it is what it is. Torn ACL takes him off my board. Omar Cooper goes. That's fine to take him there. Don't get me wrong, but I was hoping to get him a little bit later. I'll say that. I'll say that. That's fine to take him there. Round 16, round 18, round 20. Honestly, it's all the same. There's no such thing as like, oh, I got this guy in the 16th round instead of the 18th. Who gives a shit? Honestly, after round 14, I always say after round 14, ADP doesn't mean anything, means nothing. Take guys where you need them, want them, whatever. Where are we going here? Ugh, this is just such an awful range. That means you can just pull up anyone you want, really. Let's go Gunnar Helm to pair up with. I do like doing this, pairing up my quarterbacks with tight ends. I do like to do that. And it feels good, I guess, to be done at tight end. So let's do that. Coleman was the other guy that I was looking at, but didn't go down that road. If I had Stroud, Jalen Noel would be on the list right now. I like Adonai Mitchell kind of in a vacuum, but I don't know who's going to be the quarterback, and I don't really trust it regardless. I like the Flournoy pick. I'm going to just go Jeremy Bernard in fear of someone sniping me on him, because I like Jeremy Bernard a ton. So let's do that. There's really no running back that I'm like going to hammer the table for. I can't stop at 5. I have to take a 6th running back. I might just mix in 3 rookies that I like at wide receiver and kind of make it easy on myself. When I have these 5 vets that I like a lot and all are pretty proven commodities, I don't mind taking some shots on some rookie wide receivers that I like and think have a shot to get on the field as rookies. Tight end's in a good spot. I like this room with Tyler Warren, Barner and Helmer, fine. Again, stack up with my quarterback, so that's fun. I like this team actually. I think it's pretty quality. I really do. Obviously, it's a little bit landing spot dependent for Tyler Algier and Jonah Coleman, but yeah, I think it can get the job done. Jaden Ott. Interesting. So we're going one more running back, two more wide receivers for sure. I don't really like Damon Claiborne. I think it's tough for him to translate to the NFL. Let's just check my notes quickly on Claiborne. Quick cuts, long strides, and open space, will return kicks, good patience, and vision on second level. I thought he was like a fringe top 10 guy, which he still could be. I'm not really drafting him in best ball just yet. He could get on the board for me. I just don't really see it. And the Wake Forest running backs are always a tough kind of scout, if you will. It's a tough watch. We're going to go Najee here. I just think he's a massive value this far down as far as running backs are concerned. Mike Washington's on the table there too. Jaden Blue could be, Claiborne could be, Brashard Smith could be, Ray Davis is a one of the better handcuffs kind of on the board, but we're done there. Just a couple wide receivers to finish it out. Chris Brazel, rookie, I don't mind. Jalen Knoll, again, I'm not going to take him when I have Nico. If I had Stroud, Jalen Knoll would definitely be on the menu. I like Jack Besh a fair amount, but it's definitely Ted Hurst here. Definitely Ted Hurst. Absolutely Ted Hurst here. No question. He's going to be, I'm going to have a lot of Ted Hurst. I'll tell you that. I'm going to have a lot of Ted Hurst. So I think he's just fine. Born to be a Niner. Yeah, he could be. Jordan James is a running back sleeper, handcuff type of guy that I like this year. I mean, it depends on what Claiborne does at the combine and just some general buzz. Like, I'm going to need to hear that NFL teams like Damon Claiborne for me to get in on him. I don't see it. I don't like it. Again, the Wake Forest offense, the way they run their offense is just so gimmicky and weird and so anti-NFL that it's hard to really evaluate him properly. So I'm not really drafting him in best ball drafts quite yet. Not saying that I won't, because it's certainly possible, and he is on the list of like potential guys, late round guys that you could like. But it's going to take a little bit more chatter at the NFL level before I'm going to buy in on Claiborne personally. But it's definitely possible. It's definitely on the table that he could be a target for me kind of guy. Brashard Smith goes, Jack Besh goes. Don't mind both of them. Ray Day, solid handcuff, but just pure handcuff, not a lot of standalone value. I think Jaden Blue could have some value. I don't mind that click. I take him if it's like a 7 RB team. Yeah, you could pretty much take anyone you want on a 7 RB team, right? So I don't blame you. I don't fault you for that. I would maybe think more about him on a 7 RB team as well, but I don't draft a ton of 7 RB teams just because I really hate to fall behind at running back. I really, really, really am like paranoid about falling behind at running back. So I'll do stuff like this to just catch right up. And then I'll do stuff like this to catch right up, right? So it's a lot easier to catch up at wide receiver, in my opinion, than it is running back or quarterback. So wide receivers and tight ends, I think there's tons of value towards the end of the draft, but quarterbacks and running back, there just isn't for me. At least not at this juncture. Maybe again, a guy like Damon Claiborne, maybe he becomes that RJ Harvey type of guy, right? Maybe. But I just don't see it right this second. Chris Brazel still there. McAllister, Williams are both possibles. Skylar Bell is in here somewhere as well. Kevin Coleman, I do like a lot, and maybe that's what I do. Hmm. I don't know what I want to do here. Andre Yoshivas is still a value down here. I just, it's hard to click him when there's all these fun rookies. Let's do Kevin Coleman. Again, I like him more than most. Let's do that. Maybe Brazel's the correct click. I don't mind Isaiah Bond down here. I think Yoshivas is still a value in the 20th for sure. McAllister, I don't hate. Thornton's not for me. McCaffrey could be someone that we like. Antonio Williams is draftable. Tyquan Thornton, I believe, is a free agent, but speed guy, maybe could get more opportunity. I don't mind Devontae Walker. There's a lot of options down here. It's just like, even Turpin, it's just like, what do you want out of your final 20th round pick? Skylar Bell, like I said. Shavers, before he tore his ACL, was going to be on my list for sure. It's an interesting last round for wide receivers, I feel like. Let's rip through some teams quick, and we're going to rip one more quick draft. So we got 3683, Sam Darnold, Ward, and Willis. I think that works. Bucky Manungai, Algier, Coleman, Allen Harris. I like that. I think that definitely works. Puka, Collins, Waddle, Adunze, Pierce. 3 rookies that I like and thinking it on the field. I like more than most. All of them I like more than most. So I'm going to take my chances, stick with my takes. Warren, Barner, Helm, I like that. I think that definitely works. Who else do we got here? We got Terrence at the 1 spot. Love, Purdy, Murray, Cousins. I think he could have just stopped at 3. I don't think Cousins is necessarily needed on this team. I think Love, Purdy, and Murray can get it done, but that's fine. Feel more comfortable, go ahead. Bijan, Harvey, Johnson, Mixon. I'm never drafting Joe Mixon. Never, ever, ever, ever. Not even if there's a fire. Jones, Ollie. I like the top 3 a lot. I'm fine with the top 3. Mixon, Jones, and Ollie Gordon, I'm not so sure about. Gordon, I like more than these 2, if I'm being honest. I'm just out on Mixon completely. And then Aaron Jones is tough for me to click, but I get it. I don't love Pickens's price here personally, but I get the click. I like JMO. I like at pick 25 getting unique over here. Terry McLaurin, I like. Evans, again, tough for me. Debo's a free agent. Darnell, I don't really love. Mims doesn't find his way on the field too much. But some big play guys, I think that can get the job done. Fannin, Andrews, Firemouth, I like that. That's strong. We got Champ X at the 2 spot. Caleb and T-Law. I'm fine to stop at 2 there. I don't mind that. 2693. Gibbs, Walker, Brown, Gainwell, White, Tucker. I like that. That'll work for me. White's a free agent. That'll definitely work. That'll play. Burden, Washington, Jennings, Robinson, McMillan, Coleman, Flournoy, Hollins. I don't think Collins is really draftable personally. I'm not so sure about Kirk, but I don't mind this room. That'll definitely play. Gadsden, Njoku, Auden. I like the team. That's a quality roster. Mr. Mufasa in the 7 spot. Mendoza, Stroud, Penix. Tough quarterback draft for everybody. Realistically, it was a tough room to get your quarterbacks, but it could work if Penix is starting. Then this could work. Henderson, Swift, Dowdle, JCM, Mason, Robinson. It's fine. I don't like Robinson personally. I don't like the price on Krosky. I like Jordan Mason. I like Dowdle. Swift is fine, and Henderson's fine. So that's fine. JSN, London, Olave, Sutton, QJ, Tucker, Surratt, Noel. That works. Pairs up with Stroud. That works. I like the wide receiver room. Pitts, Parkinson, Stowers. That works as well. The wide receiver and tight end room are quality. The other two rooms are just okay. Let's do King of Kings at the 12 spot, 3683. Dart, Prescott, Young. That works. I like that. Achan, Stevenson, Montgomery, Woody, Singleton, and Blue. I don't like Marks, but you got him at a nice discount, so that's fine. That'll work. That'll play. Jefferson, McMillan, McConkey, Tyson, Worthy, Branch, Lane, Washington. I like it all. I'm just a little leery on Branch and Lane myself, but I get it, and I'm okay with all of that. Strange, Johnson, and Johnson. Yeah, that tight end room's fine. It's hard to have a bad tight end room, realistically. So we're done there. Let's wrap that up. Let's get into another one. Let's do a little board this time. No, let's stick with the big board. Let's do a 20-second big board clock. We're getting in right now. Big board, 22nd. We're in. Waiting on one. Hopefully you're in there. Let's go. Frank, thanks for the draft. You betcha, man. Appreciate you popping in, drafting with me. He should run around a 4.4. Claiborne? Yeah, probably. I would see that too for him on tape. It's more the buzz. Like it's more the I need to get some buzz from the NFL peeps on Claiborne for me to like him. Tez is okay if you think Evan Lee's. Yeah, even if he doesn't, like Godwin and Evans are both, you could say, injury prone at this stage of their career. So Chris Bell should run around a 4.4. Well, he will not run, obviously, but I mean, would he run a 4.4 at the combine if he were healthy? Yeah. High 4.4s. I could see that for sure. I could see that. Good draft. I autoed a few picks. Maybe those are the ones we were talking about, but no, fair enough. Appreciate that, man. No need for champ. Screwed up at running back. That's all right. I think your running back room was okay. Fun draft was before Frank there. I just realized was in a stream draft. What was your name? Is it King Cause? Is that it? I think it is. I knew that name. So if that's it, then yeah, different kind of build. Sorry we didn't take a look at it, man, but challenging but fun draft. Glad three of us will get out. Yeah, stream drafts King Cause. I knew it. I called it out saying I think he might be in the I knew the name, and there you go. But missed you. If you let me know, I would have went over the team, but that's all right. Appreciate you. The stream drafts are always tough, man. They're always tough. I was really hoping to get one of the running backs again. I get the 3 spots. At least I can get some shares. Let's go Chase this time. Let's go Chase. I guess in like a vacuum, I have Chase over Puka, but I want this the same or similar amounts of both. It's just a matter of getting the picks. We got Champ at the 1 spot, me at the 3, Lolsimo's at 4, David Gautieri. I don't know if he's watching, but Twitterverse person. I don't know what we want to call him. NFL guy on the Twitter machine. Terrence is at the 11 spot. And there we go. If anyone else is in, let me know. Pundit, NFL pundit guy on the Twitter machine. Trey McBride, first round Trey McBride, a sighting. Okay. Sure, why not? A little aggressive, but get your guys. Season already. Maybe he's going double elite tight end. Which is not something I would do. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Double elite tight end, maybe. It's not something I'm doing. Do I think it could win? I don't know. I'm not doing it ever, personally, but Then goes Barkley. Trey McBride, Barkley. Get unique, I guess. Let's do that. Let's get unique. Terrence pulls up Derrick Henry. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. James Cook, Derrick Henry. Don't mind that. Amon-Ra London. I like that. Jonathan Taylor Genty. I like that. H.N. Jefferson's fine. JSN Love. I don't mind that. Balsamo goes Puka. And whoever he clicks. Bowers. I was really hoping to get Bowers because I don't like being in this position. I don't like Pickens' price. I do not like Pickens' price here. I don't like it. Let's go Breece Hall. Pull up Breece Hall. I just don't like Pickens' price there. I just don't. I don't think it's locked in that he's on the Cowboys at all. And that's kind of where the value lies with George Pickens, is if he's on the Cowboys. I was hoping one of Brown, Walker, or Irving would make it back to me, but such is life. I guess we go Nico again. Let's go Nico again, I guess. I don't really love that. It's fine. It's fine. I don't love the start. No, I don't love that. Breece Hall, Nico, I don't love that at all. I really don't love that. Maybe I should have just went Pickens. I don't know. I just have a hard time with the price. I would have taken him here at 27 if he were still there, but I have a hard time at 22. But I mean, Breece Hall is easily, at 27. So what the hell is the difference? I think Pickens probably was a correct click here, and then I still might have been able to get Breece Hall. Hard to say. I don't know. We'll see how this goes the rest of this draft, but I'm not supremely happy with my 3-player start here. I think there's a lot of better starts. I mean, the three running backs is fine. This is a better start, probably. This is a better start. This is probably better, though I don't love AJ Brown. This is better, to be honest. Yeah. Terrence, you're high on JMO, eh, this year? Really high on JMO, it seems. T. Higgins at 36. That's a nice little discount there. Yeah, I'm not super happy with this start, if I'm being perfectly honest. That Bowers, Losimo taking Bowers on me kind of just hurt. I was hoping he would take anyone other than Bowers, but that's how she goes. Last year when you can get it round 2, 3, it was thin. First, second seems bad. What are we talking about? Who games? Oh, the elite tight end? Yeah. I feel that. It's hard to take 2 tight ends with your first 2 picks. I don't think that's gonna win anything. I'm not ever doing that. Man, Ladd at 41. Jeez. Why don't I get to have nice things? The bunch after Bowers is pretty tight. I agree Pickens feels bad, but I don't want a 0 either. Yeah, it's just all pretty meh around there. Like, I 100% agree with that statement. Like, Hampton, Love, Bowers. After that, it's like the running backs are fine. I like the running backs, but I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. And then I hate the running backs here. So let's go Loveland for sure. But it's just it's so weird to go Like you kind of have to go running back once you take Chase or Puka. Otherwise, you're kind of like not necessarily completely locked out, but it doesn't feel great. I guess if you like Scattaboo, Harvey, Judkins, Henderson, maybe Javante, if you like those guys, then sure, it's fine. You feel fine and it's okay, but I don't. So really, like if I'm not getting two running backs in the first 3 rounds, I'm feeling like I'm getting locked out. And I just really don't like that feeling. Let's go Waddle again, I guess. I'll just take him here. I think it makes the most sense. Yeah, let's go Waddle. So, yeah, I think like that's just going to continue to be my very, very firm like take and stance as far as drafting. It has already been and it will continue to be. Is I kind of feel like I have to have two running backs in the first 3 rounds. That's gonna like cause or create, I suppose, some sacrifice. And it already has. I haven't drafted Neighbors a single time. And I find it hard to click Neighbors. Like I cannot click to me, this went the way it should have, but I'm clicking Hampton and Love and Bowers probably over Neighbors realistically. Like I'm only taking Neighbors, I guess, at pick 21, 20, 21 would be the earliest that I would personally take Malik Neighbors. Not only with the injury stuff, but Matt Nagy, man, ugh, yuck. And even with like a quarterback like Jackson Dart, do I think Jackson Dart could support Neighbors? Yeah, sure. But to the degree that like a pocket passing, type, not as much, if I'm being honest. That's the way I see it. But again, there's injury history as well, or history or injury concern as well. So it's going to cause some sacrifice for Neighbors, even London to a degree, because I like all of these running backs down here. Jefferson, I'm taking because I believe in the talent and I'm back in on the Jefferson as far as cost is concerned. But man, and then Pickens, obviously, but I don't like the price. Nico, which is I think is fine, but first round pick last year, third round pick this year. I'm okay with Nico's price now for sure. So I don't know. It's such a weird one. It's such a weird one. I mean, I'll get the Chase, Puka, and JSN shares when I can. I have a lot of Lamb. I have a lot of Amon-Ra, but you're going to have to make sacrifices somewhere. And for me, so far, a little bit of Drake London, definitely Malik Neighbors. And then, it's basically dry after Bucky. Like, I'm not super high on Jacobs right now. He is a cut candidate for the Packers, though I do not think he gets cut. I think he definitely stays with the Packers. And I guess he's fine. And especially where he went in this draft at 31. Yeah, give me Josh Jacobs. But after that, it's pretty dry. I do like Kyron, but this side of the board, do I like Kyron? No. 27, do I like Kyron? No, I don't. So it's weird. It's a weird kind of draft board this year. It's just a weird one. Like if you're at the front of the front half of the draft, that's where I feel like I have to, but then you have to kind of force it in. You kind of have to force in two running backs somewhere, and you might not feel great about it, but it's kind of just what needs to happen. Let's do Caleb. Since I have Loveland, let's do that. And I like him for a couple picks past ADP. Give me Caleb over Jalen Hurts with potentially no more tush push. And I don't want to fall behind at quarterback again. I'll tell you that for sure. No way, shape, or form do I want to fall behind at quarterback. Um, hmm. I'm just gonna do this. No, I'm going to do this. I did miss it. I should have taken Warren. Where did Joe Burrow go? Where the heck did Joe Burrow? Wow. Pulled way up. Unstacked. Okay. I was hoping to get Joe Burrow right there. I would have taken him with Caleb. I should have went Jalen Warren there over Herbert, and I tried to, but I am going to be done at quarterback. I'll tell you that. Did someone else do this in the last draft? I don't know. I don't think it was. I don't think it was Caleb Herbert. I think it was something else. But I'm definitely going to be done at 2 quarterbacks here. That feels snug. I like doing that as much as I kind of can, though it's tough to. It's tough to do that. But if I'm going to have to throw a little more volume at running back than I particularly want, then let's do that where we're done at quarterback early. Yeah. I don't know. I think mistakes have been made in this draft by me, but we'll try to salvage it. I got Jacobs at 40 in a draft the other day. Wow, that feels really nice. I would most certainly be clicking him at 40. Absolutely. I think at 31, he's perfectly fine. Yeah, like give me Jacobs over Garrett Wilson, JMO, maybe, yeah, Higgins. Allen and AJ Brown are close, to be fair. But give me Jacobs over, yeah, a lot of these wide receivers. At 40, he's a snap click, and I'm sure you did. So, yeah. Yeah. I just think it's an interesting draft board this year. I really do. Right now, anyways, it could still move and shift for sure, but there's almost just like, I feel like there's just certain things you have to do at certain areas of the draft board. So like I said, if you're at the front half, picks 1 to 6, if you can't force in or get relatively easily, like 2 running backs like this, I guess this, but I would have went Taylor Hampton, let's say. If you can't do that, then I think you have to do something like this with the quarterbacks, I feel like. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but and then at the back end of the draft, it's actually quite a bit easier to do 2 running backs. So you can do like Taylor Genty, Barkley Cook, HN Henry, Hampton, Love. They're all there for the taking. I've even seen people pull up Chase Brown, which I get. Kenny Walker's still flying up the board a little bit. So it's kind of easier to accomplish that down here. Plus, like Bucky has fallen in the past. You got Jacobs there now. ETN and Kyron Williams are fine clicks down there. It's just easier to accomplish, I feel like, at the back half, at the back end of the draft board to get those 2 running backs in the first 3 or maybe 4 rounds with Kyron and ETN. So, yeah. It's an interesting one. Do I just take Price? I feel like Blake Corum is the correct click here. So let's take Corum. Yeah. I think 2 running backs are the way to go here, kind of regardless. No, it's Gadsden. Jeez, what am I talking about? It's Gadsden. That's kind of why I set this up with Herbert. So I could get Caleb with tight end and Herbert with his tight end. Feels good. I do want to take one of these running backs, though. I like a lot of them, including Dowdle, Algier Price. Obviously, I like Boston here. That all makes sense. But this is kind of why I drafted Herbert there when I got Loveland with Williams. Take Herbert, take Gadsden. That feels good. I can not worry about stacking beyond that. So I might even be done at 2 tight ends. I think I've done this on stream before as well, where I've had literally Caleb and Herbert with Loveland and Gadsden. I think I've done literally that. And I stopped at both 2 tight ends and 2 quarterbacks. And kind of like that's like the theory and the thesis of this build is that I'm banking on these 2 offenses and quarterbacks that can run a little bit, and they're high, value tight ends. So, like, would you argue with me if I said Colston Loveland could be tight end 1 this year? Would you argue with me? Maybe a little bit, but not to the death, right? Rondé Gadsden, would you say he can't be a top 5 tight end this year? Maybe you'd argue with me, but again, not to the death. So if I have two top 5 tight ends and 2, call it top 8 quarterbacks, we're in really good shape, I feel like. So I might just do that and be done at 2 quarterbacks and be done at 2 tight ends, especially when they're stacked up like this. My wide receivers are off to a good start, and I might have to throw 7 at the RB room. As in, like, I almost have to throw 7 at the RB room. So we'll see how it shakes out. I'm having trouble with AJ Brown. Last year, I was basically completely out on AJ Brown when he was going the same area, but in the second round. So he was going a full round ahead of where he is now. But the reason why I'm okay with taking AJ Brown around here, I'm fine with it here. If he was still going in the second, I would have much more trouble with it. But with where he's going this year, is we still saw that spike week potential where he absolutely can be wide receiver 1 for the week, right? And if the tush push is banned, we could see a little bit more passing offense with the Eagles. And I do not think AJ Brown leaves. I just don't think it would make sense fiscally, financially for the Eagles to make that happen. So I think he's still with the Eagles. And with all that kind of, conversation, I think he's fine with where he goes now. Again, if he went where he went last year, I'd have a hell of a lot more trouble with it. But we're going to absolutely smash Jadarian Price right here. Absolutely. If he can just fall into my lap like that, I would have taken him. I almost took him over Corum, but to get them both, you betcha. I like that. If he gets moved, I don't know where I think the landing spots are. Yeah, he probably shouldn't. I don't think he gets moved. I don't think it's even realistic. Like, oh man, I'm drawing a blank here. What's the GM's name? Howie Roseman. I don't think he's willing to do that. I really don't think. I'm like very confident he will not do that financially. Let's go Emmett Johnson. That's a smash right here. I just do not think that he will do that and trade him. The dead cap just wouldn't make sense. And you're going to make your team worse. Like, why would you do that? So if the tush push gets banned as well, then you could just say, hey, AJ, we got a heck of a lot more, potential to come your way. So, more goal line stuff, potentially fades, that kind of stuff, goal line, just work for the wide receiver. So I just don't see AJ Brown leaving. I really don't. Possible. I mean, we've seen crazier things in the NFL. That's for damn sure. We've certainly seen crazier things, but I just don't think it would make sense for the Eagles as an organization to make that happen. I'm starting to like this team a lot more now, though. It's pretty flat. 2-4-3-2. That's kind of wild. 2-3-4-2 over here for this guy. That's kind of. It's not exactly a common structure through 11 rounds. But I kind of feel like this is what you got to do. When I have Chase, I have Nico, I have Waddle, 3 wide receivers within the first 5 rounds. I think that affords me some leeway as far as wide receivers are concerned. And I'm going to throw some volume at it because if I'm going to stop at 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends, then I can throw volume at running back. I can throw volume at wide receiver, which is what I'm going to do for both. So it's almost certainly a 2-7-9-2. Almost certainly is what this is going to be, because I feel like I've caught up, and the Jadarian Price drop and fall has really made me feel good about catching up at running back, where I would have taken Price. I was deciding between Corum and Price, and I got him 2 rounds later. So that feels really good. And Emmett Johnson is just a smash pretty much anywhere in the in the 11th round, realistically. Brees Hall feels nice if he gets a good landing spot. If he does go to the Chiefs, which, is certainly on the table, then that would be very nice for this build. So we're still running back, wide receiver here. And I don't particularly like this this wide receiver range, though. I think, Dobbs is who I was going to say. I think is perfectly fine. It's got to be Jordan Mason for me. Going to continue to catch up at running back, I guess. I just don't like this wide receiver range kind of at all. I just think they're all limited and capped in their roles. Their ceilings are very defined to me. So I guess if that's what you're looking for, but I think I can find I really think you can get a similar ceiling down here, to a lot of these guys. So do I just take another running back? I feel like I do. And I think it's Braylon again. He's just an absolute smash down here, I think. I mean, McMillan's fine. I could have went Jalen McMillan, but now I could actually stop at 6 running backs for sure, which I am going to do. I am going to stop at these 6. So now I can bring in 10 wide receivers. Because once basically like Katron goes, Spears, Brooks is fine, but there's still a lot of risk in him. I am drafting him, don't get me wrong. Singleton, like once those guys go, it's kind of just whatever, honestly. And none of them, maybe I bet Singleton's probably still there when it gets back to me. But other than that, like, do I feel like I need Singleton on this lineup? Not at all. So it's going to be 10 wide receivers from here. And then just throw some volume at it. When I have that top end talent, certainly you could say that with Chase and Collins, right? And then Waddle is a bit of an unknown, but I like the talent. So we're just going to piss for the rest of this draft. And I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. I feel kind of fine about it. Because I think there's a lot of decent clicks down here at wide receiver. I really do. You can get floor, you can get ceiling, you can get unknown. You can take some shots. You can do all that kind of stuff down here. And like I said, when I have that top end talent, it kind of affords me that as well. So let's kind of just make that happen. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And I think a team like this, a build like this, I think can win. I think can literally win the tournament. Honestly, I do. And I'm not just saying that because it's something I'm literally doing as we speak. I just think it absolutely can. All it takes is the Bears and the Chargers to be what I think they can be. And then, two of the best offensive minds in the NFL. I don't think anyone would argue that. Ben Johnson and Mike McDaniel. I don't think anyone would argue that. He made Tua Tagovailoa lead the league in passing a couple of years ago. What can he do with Justin Herbert? So, that's all it really takes. And then Chase is Chase, Nico's Nico, right? That's really all it takes. I do need some help at my running back, I suppose, but like, I think a structure like this can win the tournament. I really do. I really, really do. Feels weird. Don't get me wrong. 2-6-3-2 through 13 rounds. Pretty weird build. We're going to smash Tremere DK here. I'm going to be way overweight on DK. Very high on Tremere DK personally. And it's kind of what I need out of this wide receiver room. So I guess I could take someone like Josh Downs or Troy Franklin. I guess I could take guys like that. Troy Franklin could make some sense here at a slight discount. Troy Franklin or Elijah Surratt? Oh, I tried to go Surratt actually, but we'll take Franklin. That's completely fine. That's fine. Franklin's more of a spike week kind of guy. He still had a decent season. 706, 144 fantasy points, 65 catches. Like, that's pretty all right. Did I miss my pick? Is it happening or what? Let's go. Move it on. Move it along here. There we go. About goddamn time. Way too many rookies on this team. There might be by the end of it. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. There's going to be a lot of rookie wide receivers. When I have when I draft 5 kind of vets, second, third year, whatever guys, there's going to be some rookie wide receivers, and I'm just going to be pissing the rest of this draft. It's all wide receivers to go. So we're going to have some rookies. BBG going to veto next rookie pick. Don't worry, Najee's still out there, BBG. I like Najee. I just drafted him in the draft before this. I do like Najee, but I'm done at running back. I'm done at everything but wide receiver. I'm just going to be pissing yellow for the last 7 draft picks, including DK and Franklin here. So it's kind of another reason. I tried to take Surratt over Franklin just to kind of be a little bit fun with it, but give me Franklin. I'm all right with that. Spike week guy too. I might have taken Downs over him, but that's close. It's fine. I don't mind Franklin. Well, that's a hot take, man. That's a hot take for me. Definitely give me Braylon over Najee. No question. I'm quite high on Braylon Allen. I've always liked Braylon Allen talent-wise. Yeah, I see a lot of like Zach Charbonnet and Braylon Allen, a lot of similarities there. With the offensive line with the Jets too. Breeze is almost certainly gone. Give me Braylon over Najee for sure. But I do like Najee. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of Najee Harris this year. He's a smash at the, you can get him 19th, 20th round, 18th, whatever. He's an absolute smash down there if you need a running back. I just don't need any more running backs on this build. But that's a hot take for me. I definitely think Najee's a smash. I do. That's another guy that could go to the Chiefs. I think Who Hames would like that too. I think Najee to the Chiefs makes a crazy amount of sense as well. So those are the 2 guys that I've been drafting, and we, talking about it this stream. The 2 guys that I think are the most live to go to the Chiefs are Rico Dowdle and Najee Harris. I think they're the 2 most live by a long shot, even over like Jeremiah Love, whatever other rookies you want to name. I think those are the 2 that are the most by a long shot to be Kansas City Chiefs in a month or so is my kind of thought. And that's why I've been drafting those 2 at the clip I kind of have been. Let's go Mark Cooper here. I think he's kind of a smash right here. Let's do that. That's why I've been drafting those 2 at the clip that I have been, is thinking one of those 2, I kind of can't get that out of my head that one of those 2 are going to be a Kansas City Chief. Who Hames been saying that too. Yeah. About Najee, I think, but before I thought Aaron Rodgers coming with that, I thought Gainwell to Casey fit. Yeah, he could be. I just think they would be okay with Brashard Smith kind of in that role more. I don't know if Gainwell's enough of like, let's just go Coleman here. I like Coleman at this spot in the draft with this build, especially. Let's do that. And then it'll be 2 more rookies for sure. 3 more rookies. Yeah, we'll see. Definitely 2 more. I'll tell you that. I think I don't think Gainwell is like an every down back the way that Najee could be, or at least a first and second down back the way Najee could be, including his pass catching chops. And then Dowdle could kind of be their 3 down back that could play in any and every situation. And I think Gainwell is more of like a third down back. And he was kind of used that way with Pittsburgh, where Jalen Warren was the first and second down guy, but also could pass catch. So I don't know about Gainwell though it does make sense. Like he does a lot of the things that the Chiefs would like. So I think it is still on the table, but I would put Najee, I think, and Dowdle ahead of Gainwell as far as the Chiefs kind of pecking order, in my opinion and thoughts. Hartman's in the house. What's up, man? Appreciate you coming in here. Hey, hit the like button, guys. I haven't said it yet, so hit the like button for me if you don't mind. If you're new to the channel, and you like the content, hit the subscribe button. We got a subscriber goal, 12-hour live stream. If we get to 1,000 before the NFL draft or by the NFL draft, we need 350 to get there. It's nothing crazy, I don't think, though it will be tough. Don't get me wrong. We hit about that amount of subscribers last year in the big board season between January and the NFL draft. So it's doable. It's definitely doable. So both of those things for me. Casey signed game. I think it's a sign they want love. I could see that. Or like Katron Allen or Mike Washington, something like that. Maybe. Yeah. I could see that. But I just, again, like I'm just so lasered in that it's one of those two. And I could be wrong, obviously, but I just really think Rico Dowdle or Najee Harris are going to be a Chief. One of those two. Very sold on it, but I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Kyle Williams, my guy, would have been on my list, but that's all right. That's all right. I was thinking about Torrey Horton, and I probably would have taken him over Coleman. I don't have a lot of Torrey Horton, and I do believe that there's tons on the bone for him. I just haven't clicked him a lot. Actually, at all, I think. But I think Torrey Horton's perfectly fine. Yeah. Where are we going to wide receiver here? I think I'm just going to get the guys, I'm just going to continue to get my guys. I think Flournoy is a quality pick right here, but I just don't think I'm going to do it. It's just always Jeremy Bernard for me. I'm going to be 1,000,000% Jeremy Bernard. I swear to God, he's going to be like literally probably 60%. If he crushes the combine, I saw a mock draft, Chad Reuter. I didn't like his mock draft. Don't get me wrong. He did a 3-round mock draft, and don't get me wrong, I did not like it. But he had Jeremy Bernard going in the first round. Inject that shit into my fucking veins, man. So and he's an NFL.com guy. So that makes me feel good. Like whether he goes in the first round or not, he probably does not go in the first round. Is he a second round pick? Possibly. Is he a third round pick? You bet your fucking ass he's a third round pick. No question Jeremy Bernard is a third round pick. Could be a second round pick. But I mean, I don't expect him to it's Ted Hurst here. We're doing Ted Hurst. It's my guy. Been pushing him all show. But if he gets like any additional kind of first round buzz or steam, he's going to shoot up. Let's say he goes to the combine and runs a 4.3, which I absolutely think is on the table for Jeremy Bernard. 4.4, no question about it. He's a 4.4 guy, but I think it's on the table that he goes to the combine and rips a 4.3. And if that happens, he shoots up the board. If he gets any more first round buzz, he shoots up the board. Even if he gets second round buzz, he shoots up the board. So how he's been falling to 233, I have no fucking idea. I don't know shit if that's the case. I don't get it. I do not get it. And there's a lot of dudes, a lot of streamers, a lot of ball knowers that I know that like Jeremy Bernard too. So it's wild that he's just continuing to fall. It's crazy to me. But I'll keep gobbling up those shares. Let's just see for shits and gigs how much. Let's just look at 40 drafts. Let's take a quick exposure check here. 40 drafts, Jeremy Bernard, 67.5%. You betcha. Denzel Boston over 50. Singleton, I've kind of eased off. But yeah, Emmett Johnson, one of my guys. Katron, Lemon, all these rookies. Braylon Allen, Chimere DK, Likely, Bucky, Algier, Love. I told you I've been drafting Bucky this whole time. I love Love. Everyone knows that. Algier, McMillan's pretty good. Dowdle, told you I liked him. Knowles there, and Justin Herbert, my top quarterback. So a little taste of the exposure, but Jeremy Bernard, I'm going to be 60% Jeremy Bernard. I do not care. I will keep drafting him every single time if he's going to continue to go in the 18th round. I'll draft him in the 16th, no problem. I'll draft him in the 15th. If you dare me to, no problem. A bunch of ball knowers and a guy named Hoohames. That's another ball knower, isn't it? Isn't that guy a ball knower? I don't know. Maybe he is. I'll keep drafting the fuck out of Jeremy Bernard. I'm telling you that. Telling you that right now. Is it good? I don't know. I'm cussing a lot. I'll tell you that much. If you click the box and then it's never show this thing again, I do all the time and it still shows up, man. It still shows up every time. I've clicked it multiple times. I know Tyler had the same issue where it just keeps coming back. It's like the cat, the cat that keeps coming back. You know what I'm talking about. What I might do here is take another rookie, and it's going to be a guy that I like, and I just want to get a little bit. And in a 10 wide receiver build, in an 11 wide receiver build, and in some very good 9 wide receiver builds, I want to get a couple shares of this guy because I like him, and that's the only reason I need personally. It didn't work for me, man. Didn't work for me. Didn't work for Tyler either. So I don't know. I like Jack Besh. That would have been hard not to click him there, but I wouldn't have. I like Noel, but I have Nico. I don't really need to double tap the Texans offense, but I want to get just some, like 5% roughly, until further notice, or until we get some potentially positive or negative news. And maybe I should get more like 10% if I'm being honest, because if I'm right and it works out, then great. I'll look really good and smart and be way ahead of the curve on that. But it's Chase Roberts, man. I like Chase Roberts. I want a little bit, only in builds like this, where I'm taking 10 wide receivers. Give me just a little taste of Chase Roberts. Just a little bit. I like him. This is an odd build. Very odd. 2-6-10-2. But I think a build like this can win the tournament. I really do. So Caleb Williams, Justin Herbert, stacked up with their tight ends, Colston Loveland, Oronda Gadsden. I like that a lot. I really think that can work. I think it's okay to stop at 2. Brees Hall, Blake Corum, Jadarian Price, who was a huge discount for God knows why. 20 picks past ADP. That's a smash. Emmett Johnson, Jordan Mason, and Braylon Allen. I think that this can work. I really, really think this can work. I like that. Obviously, it kind of hinges on the Brees Hall landing spot and to an extent Price and Johnson. But other than that, I like Blake Corum. I like his role with that offense. I like Jordan Mason. I like his role with that offense. I like Braylon Allen, and I like what I think his role will be in that offense. So I think this room can work. I really do like it. Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Jalen Waddle, Chimere DK, Troy Franklin, Omar Cooper, Keon Coleman, Jeremy Bernard, Ted Hurst, and Chase Roberts. I think that's awesome. I really do like that, man. I really do. I really think it can work. I'm happy with this team. I'm really hoping we can look back on this and see that I drafted the $200,000 winner. Still 200 grand up top, right? Yeah. Or at least like a nice cash in the final. I really hope that this is a type of team that can do it. So we'll see. Remains to be seen. We got Champ X here, 2-5-10-3. Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence. I think that's okay to stop at 2. I like that. Bijan, Kenny Walker, Irving, Dowdle, and White. That's fine. I like that. I'm okay to stop at 5 there as well. Terry McLaurin, Parker Washington, Juwan Jennings, Deebo Samuel, Pat Bryant, Isaac Tesla, Torrey Horton, Flournoy, Bateman, Hollins. I don't particularly like Pat Bryant at this price discount there, so that's okay. Isaac Tesla, that's a nice discount as well. Torrey Horton, I like. Flournoy, I like. Bateman, I'm not really drafting. Mac Hollins, I'm not drafting. But I think as a whole, this can work. I think Jennings could be very live to go to Washington. There's a lot of places I think Jennings could be live to go. I think Seattle is low key a landing spot for Jennings. But I like this room. It works good enough. I like the top three. It's a little light, don't get me wrong, but you threw volume at it, so that makes sense. Strange, Johnson, and Joku, that's fine. That works. I like this. Another good team by Champ. Lolsimo, 3683 goes Stafford, Mendoza, Mariota. I don't agree with the Mariota, hype and talk, and I just am not so sure he's going to get a starting job anywhere. I really am not. I'm not drafting Mariota, but I can understand why people want to. I like Stafford and Mendoza, though. Harvey, Swift, Warren, Kamara, Spears, Neal, that can work. I don't mind that. Kamara's risky, but if he goes somewhere else, that's almost a positive. If they draft, say, Jeremiah Love and they cut or move on from Kamara in some way, I think Kamara goes somewhere and continues playing. So I think he can be fine. I think this can work. It might be a little thin-ish, you could say, but I think it can work. I like the Spears click. Warren, I like. Harvey, I think, is okay in that range. He's okay. It's definitely not someone I want to be overweight on at that price, but I think it can work. Nakua, Rice, Adams, Myers, Shakir, Dobbs, Dell, and Brazel. I'm not really drafting Dell at all. I'm just too concerned with those injuries. I'm just way too concerned. And I've always been a Tank Dell guy. But as a whole, the room is good. I don't like the Rashee Rice price either, but I get it. The whole room is fine. Bowers, Sadiq, and Parkinson. I would have been okay stopping at 2, but I'm fine with the 3. That's nice. Don't mind the team. Good squad for Lolsimo. And then we got Terrence at the 11th spot, 3683. Knicks, Kyler Ward. I'm okay with that 3. Like it's obviously not ideal, but you got 3 probable starters. I think Kyler probably starts somewhere, whether it's Arizona or elsewhere, but I think this can work. You got 3 starting quarterbacks. We can be okay with that. James Cook, Derrick Henry, Etienne, Pollard, Johnson, Black. I don't mind that. I still have to watch Kalen Black, but I think I like him, and I think I will like him more than Roman Hemby, at least the little bit that I saw in the college football playoffs. I liked Kalen Black more, so I don't mind that. I got to watch tape on him first. I haven't watched any tape besides, again, just the couple college football games, playoff games, and I didn't mind Black. So I think this can definitely work. I like that RB room. Jameson Williams, DK Metcalf, Brian Thomas, Chris Godwin, Shaheed, Trey Harris, Mooney, and Christian Kirk. I like Trey Harris. I don't mind Shaheed. We'll see where he goes. I don't mind Thomas at his price at all. I'm not a big DK guy, but I can understand. JMO, I don't mind. This might be a little thin, but I mean, you got Cook and Henry as the first 2 picks, and then Etienne. So it's going to be playing catch up at wide receiver a little bit. Harold Fannin, Andrews, and Freiermuth, I like that a lot. That works. The wide receiver room and the quarterback room are a little bit light, but it is what it is. The running back and tight end rooms are good, so I think that can definitely make some sense. And that's all we got. That's all we got, man. Yeah, hit the like button if you don't mind. Or there we go. Hit the like button if you don't mind there. I liked him slightly more, but they are kind of back to back. Not sure what we're talking about at this point, but yeah, smash the like and subscribe if you don't mind. Yeah, help a guy out, Help a guy out. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get those likes up, get the videos out, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. We'll be back in Hemby and Black. You liked Black more than Hemby? I did. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back on Friday night. We're going to try to be consistent with Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then maybe a weekend here or there, kind of matinee show potentially. We'll see how it goes depending on, schedule. A lot of things kid, blah, blah, blah. So, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday should be pretty consistent. And then we'll kind of take it from there and have a pop up on the weekend, maybe here or there. Black over Henry, but there, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I got to watch tape on both of them still, so we'll see where we land. But either way, we're gonna get out of here. Like I said, Friday night we'll be back. We'll be drafting again. Hopefully, I can think of something to come up with to talk about. If not, we might just rip drafts. We'll see how it goes. But either way, we're gonna get out of here. Like I always say on Off the Schneid, if you're afraid to be wrong, you'll never be right. Hopefully tonight we were right. We win the big board with a 2-6-10-2 build. Have yourselves a great night. Appreciate you. Peace.